throwing another life update at you for March 2017.
I wanna be street legal in a drop top Beamer, cruising down the block where my boys will be feeling real fine. This is our time, no more shotgun for me.
Hey friends, it's Courtney. If you're on my YouTube channel, you know who I am, so hello. Welcome back, happy March. Last time we talked, or last time I did a life update, was about 2 months ago in January, beginning of January. I opened up that I backed out of my powerlifting meet. I was going on vacation. Things were not going the way that I wanted them to in terms of mental health issues, I guess. So, which means training didn't go well, which means macros weren't going well. I felt like life was spiraling out of control. I had a very bad breakdown, or like a burnout, which really kind of threw me off. Oh, by the way, I'm sitting in my new Poang chair. For anyone who knows of IKEA, these Poang chairs are friggin' comfortable. So I got one for my birthday, which was last week, February 29th. So I got this lovely, it's like a rocking chair almost, kind of a little bounce spring to it, and there's a stool that goes with it. This is my new meditation and reading chair, and I've been sitting in it every single day for the last 2 weeks. Life update. I actually wrote notes in my organizer to make sure that I stay on track. Last life update, which was about 2 months ago, I backed out of my powerlifting meet mostly because I was going through some body issues. I had put on unexpected weight. It was only a few pounds, but it was enough to really throw me off, to make me extremely uncomfortable, to make me stress out, and with my depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia, I wasn't comfortable, and just adding the powerlifting meet to everything else that was going on was too much. So I said, hey, you know what? There's tons of powerlifting meets. I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna focus on me. And to be honest, it was probably the smartest choice I could have made. So after that little breakdown, burnout, whatever we want to call it, I booked a trip to Cuba. I really just needed a break to turn my brain off and not think about things. And that is exactly what happened. So what I wanted to do was completely disconnect, reset, reevaluate my life, basically as a whole, read, and just kind of like reconnect with myself. And that's exactly what happened. I came back feeling better than ever, so refreshed. My perspective on my entire life changed. My perspective on business, just working hours. Coming back to that was definitely one of the best things. Lately, I've talked about how I've managed to significantly reduce my stress levels, and to put it simply, it was through reading. This year, I had a goal. I had a goal to read 2 books. I finished Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. I picked up and finished on my trip Better Than Before, which is actually a book about habits. And I started, and have not finished yet, Exponential Living by Sherry Riley. This book talks about just what it says on the cover: stop spending 100% of your time on 10% of who you are. So 90% of the time when you ask somebody, who are you? Or like, what do you do? The first thing people always say is their job. So I'm a personal trainer, I'm a nutrition coach, I'm a doctor, I'm a landscape artist, like whatever the case is. You are letting that 10% of your life completely encompass like who you are as a whole. That book, for me to kind of refocus and realize that just because I am running my own business, and if I don't work, obviously I don't make money, that kind of thing. Basically, just because I'm putting in, say, 60 hours a week of work does not mean I'm progressing towards my goal. So I wasn't being efficiently productive, if that makes sense. That is basically how I reduced my stress levels. I stopped picking on the little things on my to-do list that were not putting me further in my life or further in my career or whatever the case is. So many people define success as a bank statement or a financial income, and success is so much more than that. A huge way that I learned, especially on my trip, how to reduce my stress levels was to manage my time much more efficiently. Everyone has a massive to-do list, and when you look at it, say you have 10 things on your to-do list, what are your top 3? Okay, well, the top 3 things are actually important. Probably those 7 other things are holding you back from achieving those top 3 things on your to-do list. In January, after my last life update, I basically was not following a training program. It took me about 2 months to actually get back on track. It's been about a week now and I am following a training program. Things have changed drastically since my last training program. Yes, I write all of my own plans. So I'm officially back on a training program. It is powerlifting focused. I'm going to spend about 16 weeks before my next unofficially planned powerlifting meet, which will be in June. Obviously, I have regressed a lot and I've taken 90% of my last 1RMs and those are my new 1RMs. So everything has cut back down a lot. I'm working on lower percentages just because I have lost a lot of strength. Definitely had to refocus, be smart, kind of ease back into it and kind of go from there and see. I'm gonna go through 4-week phases. I'm doing sumo deadlifting twice a week. I'm conventional deadlifting once a week. I'm also squatting and benching 3 times a week. It is undulating, so the percentages, reps, and sets vary week to week just so that I'm progressing. I'm doing accessory work with everything, working on my weaknesses. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I post a lot of my work, so go check that out if you want to watch videos or see what I do. So I'm doing a 3-day on, 1-day off training split. I did that the last round and I actually really enjoyed it rather than trying to fit everything in at like a Monday to Friday. Because I do work from home, I am a lot more flexible with my schedule, with my training, and I really like the 3 days on, 1 day off. That's what I'm doing. So follow me on Instagram because that's basically like my training blog. Macros are back. I'm finally getting back on track with those. So again, backtracking to my last life update, I talked about that I put on a lot of body fat that I really wasn't comfortable with. It's not that I gained like 30 pounds. I put on 7 pounds of pure body fat. I was not comfortable with that, especially with my body dysmorphia. So that really threw me for a loop, which is part of the reason why I was stressing so much about my meet, because I put on all this unnecessary weight and I didn't know why. So that's kind of when everything came crashing down. It's funny what getting back into a training program and tracking macros and being smart and realistic and decreasing stress levels can do. I've noticed that I actually lost weight on my trip, and then when I came back, because I kind of had like a different focus on everything, I kind of continued to lose more weight, even though I got back into powerlifting and my strength training, and I got back into eating more because I was cutting back and not eating nearly as much because I stopped my training before. Okay, so training is good, macros are good, stress levels are down. Supplements. I posted a couple posts on social media recently about melatonin, which is a huge one to help me sleep. I'm also taking a liquid magnesium. I don't know what it is, but it's helping me sleep better. Bowel movements in the morning, without getting into much detail, they are beautiful. And I don't know if it's just because my stress levels are down or what's going on, but I think that liquid magnesium has to do with my regularity and me feeling good and everything. I also take a tea at night called Smooth Move. I don't know if it's helping. I've kind of acquired a taste to it, so I like taking it at night. It does help. It just kind of helps you get moving a little bit. So it's a nighttime drink. I take it in the evening, I don't know, sometime after dinner. And maybe a combination of that, sleeping better, everything. Things are just going well. So Smooth Move, melatonin by Canadian Protein, and liquid magnesium by Naturally Calm. Those are my supplements for success. Speaking of supplements, I am not taking any pre-workouts or caffeine stimulants right now. Since I got back from my trip, I have found that I don't need them, and I'm not going to start relying on them. Before my trip, when all that burnout was happening, I felt like every time I did take a pre-workout or extra caffeine, other than like coffee once in a while, I was getting almost anxious or having like anxiety or feeling really uncomfortable during my workout. So I actually ended up cutting it out. I haven't found that I need it lately. I do still take BCAAs when I work out because I drink those all day, every day. Another thing that has helped me to calm my stress levels is my Headspace app. And I've been talking about that lately. Amazing. I ended up buying it for a year and I've had it since January and it has been incredible. I actually brought it with me on my trip. Loved it. I'm doing it. It's 10 minutes every morning, and I'm doing it before my workouts. Kind of helps me focus. So what it does is basically it gets you to breathe and kind of disconnect from everything going on and connect with your breath. It just kind of talks about one thing at a time. Like recently there was one about only focus on so much and then move on. Don't stress about how many sets or reps you have to do. Just focus one rep at a time, one rep at a time. It's done, move on. It's not like dwelling on things, you know what I mean? So it's nice to kind of break things down as smaller pieces and not just look at the whole picture, because sometimes the whole picture can be overwhelming. So when you break things down smaller and smaller, it actually makes sense. Same thing with goals. You break things down into small monthly, weekly goals, whatever the case is, and you are so much more likely to achieve them because it's easier, because you can look at everything as little bits, not as this giant overwhelming blob in your face. I mentioned earlier that it was my birthday last week and I got super spoiled and it was so nice. Basically, lots of books, burgers, and balloons. I got princess balloons from Nathan. I'm so spoiled. And flowers. I got lots of flowers. And burgers. Oh my god, I went for burgers 4 times in the last week. I'm surprised I don't look like a burger. Maybe I do. Definitely don't. More books that I got. My stack. I'm turning into like a book whore. 2 books that I got from Nathan for my birthday. Girl Code, which I'm sure so many ladies have heard about. I will get to this eventually. So much for only reading 2 books this year. I've already done 2. And I have 1, 2, 4 more to go. That's okay. Brain food, right? Gotta exercise your mind. And the other one is called Getting Over Your Damn Self, the No BS Blueprint to Building a Life-Changing Business. I'm actually really excited for this one. Business has been incredible. I'm so thankful. Just because you're working harder does not necessarily mean you are working smarter. It's like a big tip that I want you to focus on and remember. One of my goals that I set at the beginning of the year was to only work 4 hours a day. Those 4 hours, I actually sit there at my computer. I will sit there and I will put a stopwatch in front of me. See how quickly I can get stuff done, and it makes me stay on track. A huge thing is to stay focused and not be distracted. So just because you're working harder does not necessarily mean that you are working smarter. Work smarter, be more efficient, schedule things. So this month is all about habits. So one habit that a lot of my clients I tell to get into is to schedule things. So I will actually sit here and schedule out my week. Stay scheduled and don't overflow your schedule. Do things that are realistic. I always tell people to set 3 things that you want to do in a day. Looking at 3 little things, not looking at the big picture of your massive to-do list. Look at 3 things that are like, yes, I need to do this today. This is important, I need to do this today. This is not as important, so I'm gonna do that later in the week. Or I'm gonna do it on this day when I know it's raining, or when I know I don't have a busy schedule and I can actually sit down and it's quiet and I can focus, blah, blah, blah. Stay organized. That's a big thing. I think I covered everything. As a wrap, things are going well. Things are significantly better than they were. And I'm super happy about that. I am super positive, and my positivity on social media right now is not bullshit, because I am fucking happy. Things are really good, and honestly, I'm totally going with that flow. I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'm feeling good, I'm looking good, I'm working out on track, on a plan, I'm eating well, I'm spending quality time, I'm going out with friends, I'm eating lots of burgers. Things are good, and I'm totally rolling with that, and you should too. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Make sure you go to my website at CourtneyForLife.com and subscribe to my newsletters. And check me out on Instagram, on social media. Everything is down below. If you are looking to order protein or supplements, I highly recommend going to Canadian Protein. Again, link below. They have free shipping over $100. They ship all across Canada and the US. Their products are incredible, they're natural, they're healthy, they're safe, they're way cheaper than almost any other company that I've ever known, and I trust them because they are local, and I'm actually like friends with the owner, and they've just sponsored a few new athletes. So go check out Canadian Protein on social media, go to their website, order from them because their stuff is so good. And have an awesome day. Thank you for listening to my rambles. Thank you for all the support that everyone gives me on social media and emails. And I got 3 awesome emails today that hopefully will be really big opportunities that I'm so excited for. I'm not gonna say anything yet, but there might be some really, really cool things happening later, sometime soon. I don't know if I can say anything. I'm not gonna say anything, even though I'm saying something. I'm really excited. So things are happening. Yay, yay life. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day, guys. Happy March. It's almost the spring. Weather's looking up. Stay positive. Thank you. Bye.